Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This initiative is running in coordination with our website. What we do on Seize the Mains is, since this is a daily answer writing initiative, every day we bring up a topic from current affairs and a model answer and its question is discussed every day at 9 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. The entire content that we are about to discuss in this video and in the that has been discussed in the previous videos gets updated on our website in this mains answer writing section. So if you visit our website, you'll be able to see all the previous questions that have been discussed on Seize the Mains along with their model answers. Not only this, we also bring to you a free feedback initiative. What you can do is practice answer writing with us, post your answers for this particular question that we are discussing today on the website in the comment section, and our team will evaluate your answers entirely free of cost and give their feedback along with marks and a very detailed feedback for sure. So that's how Seize the Mains functions. The topic for today, again from current affairs, it's left-wing extremism. Recently, the Home Minister of India, the Central Home Minister, he actually talked about a lot of initiatives that have been taken with regards to left-wing extremism and how has it come down in the country. So the question for day 186, that is for today, is bring out the reasons for sustenance of left-wing extremism in India. What are the government initiatives in this regard? Answer in 250 words and post your answers, submit your answers at rajisacademy.com. So see, in our introduction, we'll talk about left-wing extremism. What is left-wing extremism? What is it about? We'll define it in 2 lines, and then we'll also share some data and reports with regards to it. For example, the latest data that has been given to us by the Union Home Minister that can be put directly in your introduction to strengthen it. Also, do not write very long introductions. Make sure there is adequate spacing in various subparts of your answer. For example, as this can be seen here, there are 2 subparts to this question. So definitely your answer should be able to, anyone reading your answer should be able to differentiate between the various subparts of the answer. It should not be very clogged or very clubbed together. So here it would become clear to you. The last part is something that we are reserving for our linkage point. The first part is the introduction, and the introduction reads that LWE, left-wing extremism or Naxalism as it is known as India due to its origin in the town of Naxalbari in West Bengal. It is a far left extremist ideology. So these 4-5 words, they define your left-wing extremism in the first line itself. It is a far left extremist ideology. It derives its ideas. Now, where does this originate? It derives its ideas from communism and emphasizes the progress of people's social and economic lives through armed rebellion or armed revolution to create a classless society. See, these are your keywords: armed revolution and classless society. These are your keywords here. Do not forget to underline them. People are drawn to violence and extremism by their perceptions of injustice, misgovernance, and the system's inability to engage the disenfranchised. The geographical influence of left-wing extremism, it has contracted to 46 districts in the country in 2021 from 96 districts in 2010. So this was a previously available data. The recent data talks about that left-wing extremism had come down by 76% in 2022 as compared to 2010. So see, why are we mentioning this data that left-wing extremism is going down? Here we've given definition of left-wing extremism. We've talked about what are its reasons and how does it operate. Now we're giving data that it is coming down with time. Now, even after giving the data, just highlight the fact that still it is a very big problem for India. And why is it a big problem for India? That is because of the following reasons. Now, however, it still remains one of the biggest threats to internal security. The following are the reasons responsible for its sustenance or subsistence. Why is it prevalent, right, even in India, even after so many years of war against Naxalism or left-wing extremism? The first is the tribal discontent. Obviously, you know, there due to all these mining and industrial development, mining activities and industrial development, tribals get dislocated. Tribals have to leave their homeland and they get dislocated. Many of the times they do not have even a livelihood. So there is a lack of livelihood and the separation from their motherland. And this is basically used by Naxalites in their favor, the leaders of Naxal groups in their favor, to bring more tribal groups into the into there to appeal more tribal groups. Then the ideology is very appealing. It is very appealing for these tribal groups who are many of the times not even educated about how a democracy functions, and what is a right to equality, about how does equity and equality get maintained in a democracy like India. So the ideology is very appealing. They blame for the present wrongs on the capitalist economic structure. Naxal ideology at all times visualizes and propagates that imperialism is heading towards total collapse. So they talk to them about an ideal world order where everybody would be in power, and all these political leaders or the democratic or the leaders that we choose from with the help of democracy or capitalism. Capitalism gives a lot of power in hands of few people. So all these people would come down. There would be no power in their hands, and it would be these people who would have, or the common people who will have a lot of power. Then the fourth problem, the biggest issue, is their organizational strength. The way in which they operate and the way in which they are so fully organized, and their dedication to the ideology. The ideological dedication and cadre-based organizational setup and understanding of micro socio-economic situation in the various regions of India makes the extremists plan, operate, and implement their stages efficiently. Plus, they are more, they're more comfortable with the terrain in which they're operating as compared to the security agencies which are fighting these Naxalites there. Then, funding sources. To finance their activities, the Naxalites accept contributions in the form of taxes and levies from the local people, loot government treasuries and banks, and also extort various amounts from businesses, industries, political leaders, government officials, rich landlords, and professionals. So, since there is a continuous flow of money maintained from one or the other source, that's why this, this movement or this extremism has prevailed. The Naxals exercise a monopolistic control over the forest produce and government contracts in their areas of dominance. So that is where the money is coming from. Then you have continuous availability of recruits because of the lack of employment opportunities, because of lack of education and awareness about what is happening in other areas of the country. There is this continuous availability of recruits, plus these recruits, they are very much disappointed. Most of the times they are disappointed by government or by life, or how their land has been taken, or they have been asked to dislocate to some new location. So there is this continuous availability of recruits for all these reasons. They have been able to ensure, and the extremist groups, they provide them with financial security and social security to the youth in deprived regions of the country. So that is how they attract youth on a continuous basis. The government is trying to fight it by providing jobs without any competitive exams, jobs like government jobs to youth of many of these areas. So yes, the extent of left-wing extremism or the people involved in it, that is coming down. Apart from economic security, it gives them a sense of empowerment and dignity. It gives them a sense that they're fighting for their own motherland, they're fighting for the cause of their people. So that empowerment and dignity, this is something you cannot do away with, because this feeling is something very inherent to human beings, especially Asian people. The prevailing security scenario also compels them to opt to join the Naxals for safety reasons as well. For example, if they do not join these Naxal groups, their family members might be killed or kidnapped. So that's why, for security reasons, they do join Naxal groups. For many, joining these groups is the only way to survive. Further, these organizations hire vulnerable people who have low literacy levels, everything that we talked about, low literacy levels, unemployed or low income, particularly the tribals, building up their cadre. This creates a positive feedback loop of recruitment of youth into left-wing extremism. So that's where this, extremism is prevailing in the country. Now, talking about the body paragraph 2, that is the government initiatives that have been brought up in this regard. See your Samadhan scheme or your Eklavya model schools, or the funding or the security agencies that have been created to deal with left-wing extremism. These are, yes, very important features, but yes, these are also a bit old, so everybody would be writing these points. Recently, the Union Home Minister gave us 3 points what is the Ministry of Home Affairs policy to deal with left-wing extremism. So Ministry of Home Affairs policy to deal with LWE has 3 main pillars. The first one is strategy to curb extremist violence with ruthless approach. The second is better coordination between center and states, and then with the local governments as well. Then eliminating support for LWE through public participation in development. So that is, this is something that has come to us very recently, and this is something that should appear in your answers. Now, after this, you can talk about the initiatives of government government that have come in the last decade especially. The first one is your Samadhan doctrine, that is one-stop solution for the LWE problem. It encompasses the entire strategy of government from short-term policy to long-term policy formulated at different levels. Then secondly, you have this Roshni special initiative under Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, which was Ajivika Skills earlier, launched in 2013, June 2013, for training and placement of rural poor youth from 27 left-wing extremism affected districts. Thirdly, and intelligence sharing and raising of a separate 66 Indian Reserve Battalion, CRPF battalions like the Cobra Battalion. All this has come up, and this is your point number 3 here. This is not a point with the Roshni scheme as scheme itself. It is a point number 3 here, and this one would become point number 4. The point number 4 is about road connectivity, and exact data would not be important, but at least you can highlight that more connectivity has been provided in these areas so that development can reach these areas, education and literacy levels can get better, and also employment opportunities have been provided. Then you have mobile connectivity. For better mobile connectivity, all these mobile towers have been installed. Also, Eklavya residential model schools, they are coming up. These have like boarding facilities or hostel facilities for members of scheduled tribes. So these are Eklavya schools, residential model schools that are coming up in many tribal districts of the country. Then you have banks, ATMs and post office. All this public infrastructure has been provided in left-wing extremism affected districts. Then in the conclusion, again, you can talk about some positive things that have happened because of the above mentioned initiatives. Recently, again, I'm reiterating that the Home Minister, he said that as a result of above mentioned initiatives, for the first time in 4 decades, the number of deaths of civilians and security forces in left-wing extremism came down under 100 in 2022. That less than 100 deaths occurred, less than 100 casualties, and this is record breaking because this was not happening for the past decades. Now internal security issues, they require local solutions because these are local problems on a large scale which magnify or amplify, and then they become bigger issues for the entire country. But the solutions mostly which are needed are local solutions. So they often occur as a result of unequal growth, and we must address this issue if we are to make long-term progress in countering extremist ideology and extremist elements. Deliverables mirroring social empowerment by means of education, skills, development, employment facilitation, human rights and the rule of law, they have a lot of power in curbing these problems and bringing extremism down. Though that happens slowly, but that happens for sure. So that is your way forward for this answer. Check out the full answer on our website, which is rajayesacademy.com. Look for question 186 that we've discussed right now. Click on the link in the description, that will take you to our website directly, and on the website look for this mains answer writing section, and not just today's answer, check the previous answers as well. Our answers and questions, they are tuned on the lines of your civil services mains preparation, so definitely check them out. All the best for your preparation. Stay tuned to the channel, and I'll see you with another discussion tomorrow at 9 PM.